You can bet your bottom dollar. Great programming coming up next on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Stand by. Hold on. Talk at its finest, coming up next on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. In about 2 minutes, stand by. We know what guys are talking about. Stand by. A great show coming up next on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. In about 30 seconds. Stand by. Don't go away. Stop. If they're talking about it at the barbershop, we're talking about it here on SME. Great show coming up in about 30 seconds. Don't go away. Stand by. It's time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Another great product on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yeah!
It is from this highland region of Kisii.
A conscious Jubilee leadership once again visited the opposition strongholds of Kisii and Bungoma counties.
In Kisii town, three women walk side by side.
I'm the law around here.
All that boy got to do is just play the damn thing, and it's going to be undeniable, man. Undeniable, baby.
I'm knocking somebody the fuck out. You understand what I'm saying?
You re kicking it with Kisii show.
Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, that's all I wanna do. Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, let me feel for you. Chaka Khan, what you tell me what you wanna do? Do you feel for me the way I feel for you? Chaka Khan, let me tell you what I wanna do. I wanna love you, wanna hug you, wanna squeeze you too. And let me take it in my arms, let me feel you with my charm, Chaka. Cause you know that I'm the one to keep you warm, Chaka. I'm making more than just a physical dream. I wanna rock, Chaka, make you wanna scream. Let me rock it, rock it.
You have reached an episode of the Kicking It with Kisii show, and we are talking about the integrity of an artist, entertainer. This is specifically a topic, especially with the honoring of one of our past greats, the artist known as Prince. He was big when it comes to his music, how he wanted his music put out, and receiving proper payment and proceeds from his music. He had instances where he went and rebelled against Warner Brother Records because of the fact that he felt that they tried to lock him into contracts and take ownership of things like his name. And that's where we start with our topic. We will talk about other entertainers as well. I have two people that will be joining me. I have my wife, Angela, who's on, and we also will be bringing Vernon Waters of the Water Cooler Report with us as well. So sit back and enjoy. Remember, you can find me at keyc.com. We're streaming live over the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. And let's continue to support and listen to the other artists on network. And if you listen to me on Spreaker, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to follow and hit the bubble to interact with leaving a comment, or if we're live, to leave some chat messages. All right, thank you. We will drop into this thing right now. Dave Chappelle that we're speaking about.
And the reason we even mentioned Dave Chappelle in this whole podcast is because, we talk about artistry, and we started out with Prince, but we're not sure if you guys are Dave Chappelle fans, but come on, dude, funny. So, an imitation is the highest form of flattery, and he did a impersonation of Prince on a few of his shows. That shit was funny. Y'all know that shit was funny. So that's why we brought that extension, thinking about, him, how he, did the impersonations of Prince, and how awesome it was, how funny it was. Right.
Yeah, the Prince thing and the Dave Chappelle thing showed a level of them not selling out, basically, not putting any type of sophisticated words, but them not selling out, basically them doing what they're supposed to do. Now with Dave Chappelle, they said he was offered, was it $50 million? A $50 million deal on Comedy Central.
And y'all know nobody was checking for Comedy Central before Dave Chappelle. Really? Nobody was checking for that station, for that programming there. It was some of it here and there was good, but Dave Chappelle, he really changed the game for Comedy Central.
Yeah. His show was like no other. There was always sketch comedy that was on, you know what I mean? You've had The Living Color, you've had even the Flip Wilson show back in the day. You've had sketch comedy shows, of course, the biggest one like your Saturday Night Live and your Mad TV and stuff like that. But as a black man putting out his own show
with creative control, mind you, he had the majority of the creative control for this show on this network. He made this network. He made them step up their game. And, he was talking on an interview about how, they were skeptical, of course, initially for the first season. And, the ratings were good. The ratings were up there. Everybody was happy. Yep. And it was doing well. But then when the DVD came out, he killed the game. So then they had more skin in the game, too, because they knew that the network growth was phenomenal. So basically, the Dave Chappelle show provided another platform for more comedians and artists. And nobody had done that on this network before.
Right. The main thing when it comes to someone like that of his stature is just watching, what's around you and the image that they want to put out of you. You know what I mean? Because he had a certain thing. Of course, he had his own different skits and different characters and things that he did on TV. But, when they dictate what you should do, or you should go do this, or you should be more of this, or you should elaborate more on this. Of course, you got a team of writers and team of professionals around you who make up the quote unquote Dave Chappelle team, but they may not always have your best interests at heart.
Right. Right. So he elaborated on that. He basically talked about how, he had a team of writers, but usually the creative genius and the start of an idea was his, and they helped him to manifest that, to bring that to life. He also spoke about how, the first 2 seasons of the Dave Chappelle show were phenomenal. And then what the issue was, when that $50 million deal came for the 3rd season, that's when all the problems started. He talked about how they wanted more input and creative control, and he wasn't with it. He said he was stressed, and there was too much stress. And he thought about how many people were around him to try to change or sway him from doing him and doing his and displaying his gift the way he wanted to display it. They kept telling him that the network, this is Comedy Central, this is just from the interview, kept saying, they kept telling him they know what people want. He was like, okay, that's not true. How could y'all know what people want when I gave them what they want the 1st season and the 2nd season, because I knew what they wanted. I had an idea of what they want, and I brought it to them. So it's been proven that y'all didn't know what they wanted, because if you did, you would have brought it a long time ago. I brought what they wanted, and I have a heartbeat of the people. I've been in these neighborhoods. I know the people, and I know what they want.
Right. Shout out Chief Rocker Jersey Vern joined us here. Welcome to the Kicking With KC show.
Not to put you on blast, Chief Rocker Jersey Vern, but you cleaning up, that is so nice. I wish I could get Keisha to clean up. That is so nice. He might do a dish or two, but that's kind of it.
He keeps a nice pad over there too.
Oh, that's so nice.
It looks like Vernon Waters finally woke up around there.
Late to the party, Vernon Waters.
Good morning. Hey, we got Vernon. He's in here. So hold on, we're gonna patch you in here right now. Hold one moment, America here, because we got Vernon Waters, who's now said he had a rough night last night.
Do we even really want to ask Vernon about his rough night like last night? I kind of do, but this dude and his elaborate stories, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for him this morning and his rough night last night.
It's not an elaborate story. I want to
hear it, but kind of scared to hear it. So we'll see what he has to say about his rough night last night.
You there, Vernon?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Technical difficulties here.
Technical difficulties. I got y'all.
Hey, Grego. It's okay to be listening and driving, as long as you're not texting and driving. Good job. Whenever I find things that move me, I know Kesey probably is so tired of this. I'll go and I'll be engulfed in it for, a day or two and talk about it for a day or two. And when I told him about, how I thought that Dave Chappelle's impersonation of Prince was one of the best. It was really one of the best that I've seen. Not that he looks like him, but the whole mannerisms and things like that. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. So while he gets Vernon on the phone, like I said, we talked about the artistry. We talked about how Dave Chappelle, impersonated Prince, but how he was all about the craft. He was about his craft and about his creations, and just like Prince. Like he wanted to own his, he wanted to have the creative control of his, and there was all this resistance from, the network, the man. He even talked about how one of his writers, who was a friend of his as from teenagers, when he kind of lost it and he went to Africa, everybody was saying he was on drugs, he was in rehab, he went to go see a psychiatrist in Africa. He was like, really, y'all? Like, why would I go to Africa for medical attention? I mean, I'm coming from the United States. It doesn't make sense. And he's right. I wouldn't go to Africa for medical attention. So, I mean, these are just things that people will say about you and about how, when you don't sell out or you're not being what they want you to be, they create these untruths about you that people just believe. People believe these things that they put out there. It was the network, it was the writers on the show saying all these things about this man who just wanted to leave because he was losing the creative control of his show and just not being who he wanted to be.
Yeah. Good morning, Vernon. I think we got you here now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, good. I
apologize for being late. I had a rough night last night.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah, I've been in mourning for 3 days, so I gotta shake it off.
Yeah,
as we all have. We all have.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been a fan for a long time, and I don't even know what to say. It's really nothing that can be said.
Well, let me ask you this, Vernon. Good morning, first of all.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. So the question I have is, I saw a post on one of the social media outlets. I think it may have been Instagram, asking why are Black people so moved and so touched by the passing of Prince. Can you elaborate and tell me why you think that is so?
Okay. In today's society, we as Black people, we don't let our artists have longevity. Like after a year or so, you're old. We don't want to hear you anymore. So he's one of the last artists. Him, Stevie Wonder, they're the last of the artists who have longevity and staying power. Part two is they're the last of the artists who probably will ever make a song that will play forever. You have certain artists who have one-hit wonders that you're always going to hear, like Frankie Beverly and May, stuff like that. But artists who have a catalog that is going to last a lifetime, there's not many of those left. It was Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Prince, and pretty much that's it.
Okay.
So he's the last living dynasty artist, I should say.
Well, Stevie Wonder's still with us, though. Stevie Wonder's still with us. Let's say that.
I know, but he hasn't made any music in a while. He's still basing it off of the music he made back in the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's kind of still he's iconic, but not for a younger generation. Like you said, with the Dave Chappelle show and everything like that, it kind of made younger people kind of more focused on Prince. But he's just that type of character that people knew about. But I found out this week, especially when I was at work, I work with a lot of younger people, and they were like, "What's the big deal about Prince?" So I was really offended.
What?
But yeah, that's what our. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what our attraction for Prince was. He's someone who cannot be imitated, duplicated, and he created timeless music and a timeless piece of iconic history with the movie Purple Rain and the songs and stuff that he did. That's just with the outfits that he wore, hairstyles, the little scream that he did. It's like Michael Jackson with the he. It's just something that if I do it and show it to you, you'll know exactly, like the thing with the licking your hands and sliding across the stage and all that stuff. He's just done things that have stuck through the time of musical history and pop history, I should say. And he was just and he always fought for Black rights and being, even though his earlier music was more sexual and stuff like that, he kind of transitioned into a more spiritual type of vibe musically and inspired so many different artists. Whether you were a singer, actor, or whatever, he's inspired a generation.
Right. I completely agree with you. I think we all feel like he and his body of work is completely transcends time. It transcends genres. I mean, it's, we grew up listening to, the Michael Jacksons, the Marvin Gayes, we grew up listening to those people, and so they feel like they're part of. So they feel like they are part of our lives. I mean, we were young when Prince came out, but I remember on Saturdays cleaning up at my mom's house, listening to Prince. I'll never forget that. So I grew up listening to him. We grew up listening to Prince.
Right on. Shout out to Jungle Brother, who also is now in the chat. Big ups. So we are now speaking with Vernon Waters, who joined us on the call, and we're actually going over the topic of maintaining your artistry, your integrity as an artist, and we spoke about Prince in the beginning, and we also introduced Dave Chappelle as another artist who has maintained his integrity. During the interview with Dave Chappelle and on other interviews, there's a lot of people who reference where comedians actually are either encouraged or urged or told that they must portray a female character, put on this dress, and there's quite a few that we can name who have done this in their lives. And Dave Chappelle took a stand and said, "No, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not who I am." I think me and you spoke about this also, Vernon, in the past, but there are a lot of entertainers, not just comedians, but a lot of African-American men who have been told, okay, hey, how about put on this dress? Go ahead and do this for this movie or for this role. What's your thoughts on that one?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, yeah, I had to call it on a different phone. Now, first of all, let's not just put African Americans in there. I know we're focusing on that, but I don't know. I hate to be, I'm going to say a lie, say I hate to be a conspiracy person, but I really like to be a conspiracy person.
Because you are. What do you mean? You really are a conspiracy theorist. You really are.
How about this? I'm going to give you a name, and I'm going to ask you, how did they really get their start? Think about Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He was on that show with him and another guy.
On a show called Bosom Buddies.
Yes, that's what
him and his friend had to dress up like women so they could get a rent-free apartment in a high-rise in New York where you had to be a woman to live there.
Okay.
And then after that, you get Forrest Gump and Apollo 13 and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Swayze did it. Wesley Snipes did it. John Leguizamo did it. So it's not, and in reverse, female artists do the man thing. From Lady Gaga to Whoopi Goldberg, it's like they want to cross the genders, and they want to is it called demasculate or
emasculate?
Men.
Emasculate.
Right.
Yeah, they want to emasculate the man so that at the end of the day, there's always some footage of you where you're not a man.
Who is they? I mean? You said they. Who is they?
They say, if you do things, no matter what people say, if you do anything that's not manly, you could never be truly considered all the way a man. That's just like the dude from Oz that plays on CSI now. He's a tough cop and he's chasing the criminals and all that, but I always remember him as the dude who was kissing that dude on Oz. You know what I mean? Like the guy from the Traveler, is it Traveler Insurance?
Yeah, you're talking about the Farmers Insurance. Right.
The guy that played in Whiplash. These are all white guys.
Schillinger.
You know what I mean? It's just a Hollywood thing. They want to demasculate you. But for the African American, especially the comedians, it seems like that's always the joke that they come up with. And just like me and you talked about before, it's just like when everybody said Martin went crazy. Remember, Martin went crazy first. Just like Dave Chappelle did.
Yeah.
He was running around town with a gun and doing all this stuff, and he was crazy. He fell off the map for a couple of years. He came back. They gave him maybe two movies. I think it was Black Knight and that movie where he was coaching basketball for the little kids. And then his next movie, which was his, and I'm doing finger quotes in the air, big comeback, was Big Mama's House. Where not only is he dressed like a woman, he's dressed like a big grandma black woman.
Right.
So it's not a coincidence, but they'll tell you it is, and then people will go, like I said, they'll say, well, Denzel never did that, Will Smith never did that, and certain people but there's a lot of them that have. And It's not a coincidence that after that time, just like what we said with Kevin Hart, who said he'll never do that, and then 2 weeks later he was on Saturday Night Live and they had him dressed up like a little girl.
Wow.
So it's on one side of the coin, you're going to have people that tell you that, oh, that's just comedy. It's just funny when you see a guy dressed up like a girl. They did it on the Flintstones. Bugs Bunny dressed up like a girl. It's always a funny thing to put a guy in a woman's dress and put lipstick on him, and they did it. I just watched. I made Leela watch Uptown Saturday Night with Harry Belafonte and Bill Cosby. They did it to Harry Belafonte in the movie.
Right.
At the end, at the cookout, when the police came, they made him dress up like he was a girl. So it's like, you know, I don't know what the end result would be for that, except comedy and demasculating our men to put them in a category where no matter what happens, you'll always have a light where you can see them as not a man. But then you have people like we talk about Prince, who just was always feminine, period. You know, and that's the thing that I've always wondered, like, why in a rock star, because even with, you know, the Rolling Stones and all those guys, Lenny Kravitz, they're real flamboyantly dressed and type of people, but for some reason women still are attracted to them and think that they're manly and sexy, but they're walking around with tight pants and high heels on. So I don't know how rock stars get a pass. Just like, you know, just like athletes, I don't know how they can hug and kiss each other and slap each other on the ass, but somehow that's not considered. But anyway,
yeah, shot.
It is an indoctrination that they're trying to put out there, but I really don't know what the end result would be, other than to just demasculate us and to keep some reign of control over us. So there's always something that they have in their pocket on you that you can't come out and say. You can't really speak about the issues and stuff that are going on today. If you participated, you kind of have to go with it. Like, you can't speak out on Bruce Jenner if you dressed up like a girl in a movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you said
just like
Vernon
did the vote in Georgia the other day about passing that law to where you don't have to make a cake or serve people if they have a homosexual wedding. But it's like there's no reason for any of that. It's just another way to divide us, basically.
Right. You had a question, Angela.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, as our in-house, local conspiracy theorists, I was wondering, when you say they, who are you referencing? What do you mean when you say they? Who are you talking about?
I know who I'm referencing. Who I say they. But if I really say who I think is they
gonna come get you.
We might not have to go no more.
Oh, so you can't give us a.
Like I said, all of this is a farce. Let's just put it that way. All of this is a farce.
There he goes.
Like right now, this is how deep my conspiracies go.
Oh God!
Right now, the only reason Prince is dead is to distract all of us from realizing that Trump just won the election in New York and he's about to run for president. To take our mind off of that, to keep us in mourning, so we're not going to go out and vote against Trump or whoever's running against Trump, so he wins. That's how deep my conspiracy goes. Why 2 days later, after Trump wins the nomination in New York, is Prince dead? To distract blacks. And to take our mind away from what's really going on in the world. And that's who they are. That they are not the Republicans and the Democrats. That they are not the presidents and the Supreme Court. That they are the people who pull and prod and lobby and push for those things to be still in power. And those things, I mean, the things that kill and keep us under control, such as cigarettes, alcohol, television, things like that. Those are the theys, the people who are actually really in power. All this other stuff is just, it's like the Queen of England, and that's what America was good at. And in England, they had the king and his rule and his word, and everything was law. America was created that everybody's a king, but really that's false. The people who are really the kings put other people in place to run things. It's just like managing a company. You're managing this company and you're over the whole division. I'm over the marketing division. I'm over the warehouse division. You're in charge. You're making all this money, but really you're not the person that's really in power. The person that's in power is the person that owns and runs this whole company and gets their shareholders and the board and all of those people. It's just like that with the world. somebody wants us to stay watching the Kardashians on TV. Somebody wants us to stay watching the playoffs every day. And that same person that's got us watching the playoffs wants us to buy Geico insurance. And they don't want us to say anything about the fact that insurance is a farce. And most of the time, you're paying this for a lifetime. And if you've never had an accident and you've never used it, you just paying this company your whole life and never received any benefit from what you're paying for. That would be the equivalent of paying for college and never going to school at all, but you still have to pay for it all the time. So that's the day that I'm talking about. The people who are really, really putting these things into place that we can't live without, and we got to have, that are timeless. It doesn't matter who's the president. It doesn't matter who we elect. It doesn't matter who's the mayor of Lawrenceville. The only thing that matters is the person who's really in power, the person who owns Johnson & Johnson, the person who owns Viacom, the person who still owns those companies that own slaves and transferred their money to power companies now that we think are just regular companies like Coca-Cola, who used to sell cocaine to people in bottles. Stuff like that, that's still been allowed to go on all of this time. Just like with the cigarette companies. We know cigarettes give people cancer, but they're still allowed every day to sell you cigarettes in the store. So that's the day.
All right. Welcome, that ninja, to the Kicking It With KC show, and also Togo and also Grego. Welcome. They're active in the chat. Togo, I think rebutted something you said, and he said that people don't have to do any of that stuff that you just said, though. That everybody's responsible for their own actions. So he said they don't have to go that route or buy insurance or any of that type of stuff that you said that they're doing.
He said what? You don't have to buy insurance?
You don't have to do any of that stuff.
Other things, what he's saying is true. Now, I'm not going to try to get it in a debate because this is supposed to be about Prince, but you tell me where you can live and have a car and not have insurance. Tell me where you can buy a home and not have homeowners insurance. You can't drive off the lot of a car lot without having insurance. And now, unfortunately, with I don't want to call it Obamacare because they call it Obamacare. It's not called Obamacare. The Affordable Health Care Act, you have to have health insurance or you get taxed. So what he's saying is totally untrue. You have to have insurance. And the sad part about it is if you don't have insurance, you're going to lose everything you have. So if you do ride around in a car and you say, okay, I'm black power, I'm not going to have car insurance, you're going to get about 2 feet down the street and you're going to get pulled over and you're going to get a ticket. And you're either going to go to jail or you're going to pay so many fines that you're going to say, man, I just need to go ahead and get some insurance. So it doesn't matter. The only choice you really have in life is, do you want Geico or do you want Progressive? You fucking with Flo or you messing with the Lizard? Which one you doing? Because all the rest of that don't matter. And what he's saying is totally false. I want to know where he lives, where it's not required for you to have any type of insurance ever.
Okay, he said I misconstrued what he said, something about insurance.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he was saying.
I should have waited for you to read the whole statement.
Yeah, he said he was speaking about cigarettes. He's saying you do not have to smoke cigarettes.
No, and that's what I mean. Now that part I do understand. You don't have to eat at McDonald's. You don't have to smoke cigarettes. But what we're talking about, just like the people who listen to your show and the people that we may be. It's like the 5%ers. We're the 5%. You know, we're not 5%ers, so all you 5%ers don't get upset. We're not saying it, but the same concept. There's 85% of the world that's dumb, deaf, and blind. That's what I'm talking about. There's people out there who are going to watch the Tyler Perry movie. There's people out there who are going to eat at McDonald's every other day because they just love it. I'm loving it. That shit is not a coincidence. There's a reason why a multi-billion-dollar company still does commercials every day and makes slogans and jingles that stick in your head. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That shit is called marketing. That shit is called subliminal messaging, and it's stuck in your mind. Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? You can't get away from it. So, yeah, you can abstain from it, and and it's almost, you're almost separating yourself from society. Because if you get around normal people who are just regular folks who don't have all these ideologies and want to make a stand or anything, they're going to look at you like crazy. If you tell them, say, oh, man, I don't eat at McDonald's, I don't drink Coke, they're going to be like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't watch Blackish? What do you mean? It's like it's like that's the sheep part of the society. So yeah, you don't have to do that. But what I'm talking about is the people who just live their life based on the imagery and the subliminal messaging that's given to them, and they're just following that. And at the end of the day, if you have a horde of those mind-controlled zombies coming to your house to make you turn your TV on and watch the Kardashians and eat a Big Mac and drink a 2-liter of Coke, what are you going to do?
Right. All right. Another artist that I had in my listing that actually stands out as somebody who took that change and pretty much went southward was Laryn Hill, because she was on top of the world and all of a sudden she just vanished. And we don't even know her story yet, but I'm sure it was something along the way of her reaching that certain pinnacle and feeling like she was not maintaining the integrity of what she does. That's my thought.
I was listening to her music. I just watched a video on YouTube the other day, the Vigilant Christian or something. You know, I watch, like you said, I watch all these conspiracy people. So
of course,
he did a whole video about Laryn Hill, about what happened to her and why it's seen. And just like we said earlier, everyone who has this turn in their career, they're made to look crazy. From Dave Chappelle to Cat Williams to Martin to Prince, when he changed his name to the symbol, and everybody was like, man, that's crazy. He was one of the original. Remember, he painted slave on the side of his face.
Right.
So just think about this. You made Purple Rain and Under the Cherry Moon and all these other great albums, and you made your own label, Paisley Park Records, and you put out Raspberry Beret, and you made all these sold out world tours and made all this money, and then you find out you're only getting paid 0.001% of what you really should be getting paid, and you're under a contract to do 10 more albums.
Right, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing that. And then the other thing is, like with Cat Williams, and he said it in his first little comedy special before they say he went crazy. He went to the parties and he saw the people that was on these TV shows and stuff, you know, engaging in all types of activities, from drugs to, you know, orgies and things like that. So it's like this. I forgot what the guy he mentioned, but it was like, you know, you go into a party and you see a bunch of actors that you respect, and then, you know, dressed up like women and doing all types of ecstasy and doing, it's like, and you get in there because once you're in that party, that means you've been accepted. But before you leave that party, you have to purify yourself in Lake Minnetonka. And if you don't do that, the next day you're ostracized. And either you conform the same way Justin Bieber and Martin did, because Martin went crazy, but he came right back and just said, okay, I'm going to do whatever y'all say to. And you know, and like Angela said, who is the they? I won't say who the they is, but they doing it right now, just like Dave Chappelle did. He came right back, and now he's just not as strong as he was before. He's not as political as he was before. He's not as steadfast in making a difference and showing those different angles of our society like he was before. And then you got people like Prince and Laryn Hill, where Laryn Hill went all the way, like you said, south, and she's just like, I'm never going to do industry stuff anymore. Your boy tried to do that, the dude from Transformers. He tried to do the same thing. It was just like, but in some boardroom or some business, like I said, if Laryn Hill had the ears of 18 million people, that's a good marketing tool. That's a good person you can use to sell Geico and Coca-Cola and McDonald's and Disneyland too. Think about this. Think about every musician, every famous actor, everybody you know, I guarantee you, if you look on the internet, you can find them wearing a Mickey Mouse hat or a Mickey Mouse shirt or the ears or whatever, and find out why that is. Why this amusement park gets to own a whole network and owns the Orlando Magic and owns ESPN and owns a show for every ethnic group in America. That's ABC. That's Disney. Mm-hmm. All of that is the same thing. Now they own Star Wars, Marvel, and everything. So they're basically controlling the ideologies of half of our society. And the other half is being controlled by Viacom, which owns MTV, VH1, BET. You know, they just showed the VH music, with the VMAs on BET the other night.
Whoa.
For all the people that think BET is still a black station.
Wow.
So, yeah, so Laryn Hill seen what was going on, and then they started to try to make her look crazy. Gave her tax evasions. They tried that. They tried locking her up. They did all this stuff. And then what they did was put her in a position where she looked crazy. They was like, okay, well, you know, you don't want to do your old songs no more, so we'll just put you on concert on MTV and let you sing all these songs that you want to sing, and people think you crazy. So people show up to the concert thinking they're going to do the WAP, and you lost one, and she up there singing about God and how the industry ain't nothing, and people's like, man, what's this? I don't like that new Laryn Hill.
So Vernon.
She's telling you in all of her songs what really happened.
So Vernon.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this. So we started out the show and we talked about owning your artistry. So you're saying basically because the artists that you're talking about, like Laryn Hill and the people that are resistant to they're resistant to this group, these people that are in control. So that's when they're ostracized and criticized and demeaned, and so that's because they don't conform to what they want them to do. So it should be
no, and I don't mean to cut you off, but let's be clear. You cannot make it to the level of artists of a Prince or a Laryn Hill or a Michael Jackson or Rihanna or Beyonce if you haven't already conformed. That's the problem. You can't get to that level without conforming. Like you got people like, who's the dude that Kesey really likes? The Roberson dude.
Eric Roberson?
Eric Roberson, like him. Like he's never conformed. But he's always been on that level where, you know, black soul music, like Anthony Hamilton, like Algebra, you know, all those type of people. Even maybe, I want to say Jill Scott, but Jill Scott, you know, she started doing Hollywood stuff and everything. She's never conformed, but she did enough to where she's in Tyler Perry movies and she had her own series on HBO, stuff like that. What happens is those people build up. They are lifted up by day, and then when they get to the top and see what it's really all about, when the curtains are pulled back and the Wizard of Oz is gone and you see the old man in the back pulling the levers and things, then they say, oh, this is some bullshit. I'm not down with this. I'm going to let my people know what's really going on in society. Cat Williams tried to do the shit. Laryn Hill tried to do it. Prince tried to do it. That's when they're ostracized, and that's when they take, and Kanye too, yeah, and that's when they take the things that you did that are ignorant and keep doing it. That's what they did with Kanye. When Kanye did that shit with Taylor Swift, it was over. It was like he lost white America, and then he had already gotten so pop that really black folks wasn't listening to his music anyway. So it was like, I'll give you another perfect example. OJ, before OJ killed them people, or so they say, he was America's sweetheart. He was doing movies with the Naked Gun and on TV shows and everything. He was the most popular black athlete probably ever, you know, in history besides Michael Jordan and Kobe, you know, but that was before all of them.
Right.
And then when this happened, it was like he was totally dropped, period. Just like he was crazy and he was a murderer. You know what I mean? That's what they do to you. And then they take the success that you had and put it up against you. There's no way Laryn Hill's music now can surpass with That Thing and that album that's Miseducation of Laryn Hill. So when you come out with a concert, say you come into Atlanta and they're coming out with a concert,
right?
Now the radio stations are only playing your good music. And the people like, man, shit, and they play it all day. So that shoot, I heard Laryn Hill all day. I ain't going to that concert. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like people, that's not a coincidence. And it's so easy to manipulate when you control all of the airwaves. You control all of the media. So it's not that they refuse to do this. It's that they've already been given the power by they, and then tried to back out of whatever deal that they made. Their deal was they're going to lead the people astray. They're going to lead the people down the wrong path. They're going to feed the people this bullshit and this drugs or whatever it is that they're doing. And then they get there and say, you know what? I'm not doing that no more. I'm not going to do this anymore. And if you listen to them, they all say this. I'm not going to be your puppet anymore. Everyone who goes crazy says that.
That's true.
There's a reason for that.
That's very true.
It's not a coincidence. And like I said, I could be wrong. It could be a conspiracy. But at the end of the day, it still goes back to money. What do you want to do for that money? I tell Kesey that all the time. I'm like, think of all these rappers who run around talking about I'm from the hood, I'm a thug, but all of their children go to private school. But they got your kid listening to music talking about sell these drugs and do these mollies and get with all these girls and all this stuff. But they don't want that for their kids. Their kids is learning 12 languages, going to private school, learning to play the violin, and doing everything that's totally different from what they're telling your kids every day. Future's kids ain't going to a public school and having to ride the bus and dealing with people who trying to sell dope and shoot them and kill them for his sneakers and stuff like that every day. But he's telling your kids that that's what you do to keep it real, and that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Wow. That's deep, man. I didn't even think about that. But I know the neighborhood we just moved out of, none of the kids went to the public schools, man. I was like, okay, I see all these kids walking down the street, but they don't. I asked my son, like, they go to school with you? He's like, nah. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When they get a chance, brother, they take their kids as far away from your kids as possible. But that's how they make their money. Telling you they pimps and drug dealers and they pushers and they having sex with 13 women every night and telling your daughter to bend it over and bust it open and this is what you're supposed to do, you know. And I say that for the female artists because, like you said, Beyonce and Rihanna, they not no role models. People can say whatever they want to say about their foundation and all that, and that's my other conspiracy. The Formation video. What's Beyonce doing in the Formation video?
You tell me.
She's dancing on cars in a flood.
That was some New Orleans stuff, right?
That was in New Orleans, right? That was in the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Where's Beyonce from?
Houston.
What's flooded right now?
Houston?
What does Houston look like right now? Don't it look like the Formation video?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all keep fucking with me if y'all want to. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say nothing else, man. It's so sincere right now. Houston's flooded right now. Didn't no levee break or nothing. They just had 20 inches of rain and the whole city's flooded. Not Texas, just Houston. So y'all take that for what it's worth. You know.
So is that her punishment for Formation?
You're saying that I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
So Vernon, is the flooding of Houston, is that her punishment for the Formation video because she was out of line, she didn't conform?
What do you think?
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
That's what your synopsis is from what I just...
That's what you're alluding to. That's what you're alluding to.
America did not like her using the most coveted American financial gain in our country right now, society. And all of those people that's in the chat right now that tell me you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, I bet they ass watch the Super Bowl though. and no offense to all y'all brothers, but y'all know y'all watch the Super Bowl. Y'all may not eat pork and you may not go to McDonald's and all that, but you watch that damn Super Bowl and you're watching these playoffs. So it don't matter where you go, you're going to be affected by this unless you've moved to swamp people land and don't have no TV and just live off the land. You're going to have to conform to that. So Beyonce took this time of America's game, and Janet Jackson did the same thing, even though she didn't really do it. But I swear she had something to do with it. She let Justin Timberlake trick her into that. But she took this time to decide she was going to speak up about Black power and how to police brutality and do it in her way, which is great. But all I know is 2 months later, her whole city flooded. And not only is her whole city flooded, but you're from Houston. You're a big star. So what happens is now they make you have to make a stance for your people. And where is Beyonce? Why Beyonce ain't out there giving people water and fishing people out of the lake and all that shit? Y'all love her so much. This shit is chess. It's not checkers. This is who they are. They are the people who will flood a whole fucking city to prove a point to an artist who's not in line. That's they. That's the day. You talking about some, like I tell you all the time, Hollywood makes shit 10 times bigger. You thinking about Dr. Evil and the James Bond villains and motherfuckers who can blow up whole skyscrapers and do all this. They did that shit. They're doing it every day.
Hey, and I got a buddy who also says that the government controls the weather, because he was saying, he actually showed me a couple of videos where they have some equipment that makes clouds out there. So he said, what do you think chemtrails?
Earthquake equipment.
Yeah, he was like, what do you think chemtrails are? Like, you look at the chemtrails out there, and you know what I'm saying, they can actually make clouds and they can control the type of weather that you have that day. So yeah, I mean, that is possible. They made it rain, they made it storm, they made it tornado, they made it hurricane, you know, any of that type of stuff. That is very possible. I don't disagree on that.
Hey, that's all I'm saying. Like people say, that's so far-fetched, that's ignorant, that's stupid. They wouldn't flood a whole city just to prove Beyonce wrong. No, they flooded a whole city to punish her and make her retort what she's doing. So everyone's gonna suffer. Like they say, like that's how real criminals do it. I'm not killing you. I'm gonna kill your whole family. Matter of fact, I'm gonna kill your whole legacy. They did it to Bill Cosby. It's very simple. They were like, okay, y'all won't believe 2 girls raped. How about if we get 57 girls that say he raped them? Now will y'all believe us that he's a raper? You see what I'm saying? So now you can't. I don't care what you say. You just lost a little respect for him, because out of 57 people, you say, well, maybe one of them is telling the truth. If he raped one girl, then Bill Cosby is a farce. He's a false god.
Yeah, man.
And they're pulling his image down. That's like I said with Beyonce. Okay, you for the black people, you down with black crime, you down this, you want to speak up and do that. And it's not her job. She's not a politician. She's not a business leader. She doesn't have billions of dollars she can go vote. But you put yourself in that light. You're the queen bee. You're from Houston. You're the biggest artist in the world. This shit happens to your city, and you're not nowhere to be found. Yep. And she may, like I said, she may be doing anonymous things and all that, but with this type of thing, you need to be on the forefront of this. You need to be quarterbacking this thing. And they're not saying that. No one's saying that in this society, and they're not saying that on the news. They're just showing you the suffering, and they're showing you this, and then it just looks really, really coincidental to me that she made a video after the Super Bowl dancing on top of flooded cars, and now the whole city of Houston's flooded. Not Texas, not San Antonio, not Dallas, right. Just Houston.
Yeah, Houston's on the coast though. So
yeah, it is. It is. And like I said, people, your wife already said it. I'm the resident conspiracy theory. I look deeper into things and maybe I should, but I just find that highly coincidental.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of, the chat rooms and uproar here.
I don't even want to see.
No, you don't want to see.
You know everybody's insane, but
you got to comment if they're telling me I am right now. But that's my feelings, fellas. I'm sorry, I'm not reading the chat because I'm on my right phone, so I can't see what y'all are saying. But go ahead and give it to me. Let me know what y'all think.
Yeah. Anyway, we pretty much hit all of our topics here, man. We hit everything, man. You got everybody a damn earful big time on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was late, man. I just, like I said, I was out late last night.
Yeah, hey, we need some of that music, man. You know what I'm saying? We need some of that good original music here, because I actually, the podcast before that, for those that are listening in right now, I'm taking it down by the end of the night, but I have some symbols, some of the symbols music on the previous podcast. It will be up for a couple more hours and it will be gone because the symbol is about their money. I'll just say that.
Yeah, they're not playing, buddy. They're not playing. And that's the shit that I really hate. That's when I sent you that article yesterday. Now Prince dead. I'm trying to figure out who has his catalog. Who owns Purple Rain right now? Prince never owned it anyway. But now, think of how much money all of that's worth right now.
Yeah.
Watch. I guarantee you. Yeah, y'all call me because I guarantee you in the next week or so, you're going to see the Purple Rain Marathon on VH. Oh, yeah, we was driving down the street on Lawrenceville Highway and saw one of those digital bulletin boards that just said, "Rest in peace, Prince," with well, not Prince, it just had the symbol on there. And we was like, what is it? It wasn't an advertisement or nothing. It was just, we just put this on one of those digital. I was like, why is that just even there? Yeah, you're going to see on VH1 the Purple Rain Marathon and all types of the music video and all. I mean, and they're going to tell you that's what they're supposed to do. No, that's to make whoever owns that stuff now money.
Hey, Togo's typing all the cities that are flooded right now throughout the southeast. But it could have been that same weather pattern, Togo, what we're saying regionally. Could have been a regional.
No, and what Togo's right. He's absolutely right. But that's what they do. That's what they do, man. They're not going to just do it, you know. Like I said, this is chess. It's not checkers. It's going to be, you say, okay, Togo's like, well, it's just weather. It's not really anything they do with her. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. It's supposed to look like a natural disaster.
Like Arkansas and
it's supposed to look like that. That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
All right, man. You done pretty much dropped the damn mic over here on this thing, man.
I'm very passionate about this, man. I don't want us to fall for this technology that's going on out here. I know all of us, everyone who listens to your show, we're kind of in a like mind, and we're kind of all in the same place. But as we said before, if we don't do anything about it, no one is. So now is our time to focus on not letting Donald Trump be our president.
Yeah, that's true, man. You're right about that, because that right there is absolutely the most heinous thing I've ever seen in my life.
It can't happen. We need to bring back the yes we can. Yes we can not vote for Trump. And that's my other sticker. And then I got another bumper sticker that I'm gonna patent this week where it says "Make America Great Again," and at the bottom is gonna say "Don't vote for Trump." Because we really need this dude not to be in the office. We really do. Because it's really not going to be good. We thought Reaganomics was bad. Trumponomics is going to be even worse for every impoverished and every minority that's out there, from women to black to Hispanic to. It's not going to be good. I guarantee you, by the mid of his term, we will be in some type of Cold War with China.
Yeah. Togo said Prince regained the Warner Brothers catalog April 2014. Warner Brothers retained licensing. Yo, that's crazy. Now I'm thinking about April. That was like 2 years ago, probably.
Right.
Closer to the date.
So Prince just got all his music back and then died. So who gets the music now? He don't have any heirs. He doesn't have anyone to leave it to.
I hope his brothers and sisters. I hope
controls that music.
I hope his family. I hope.
What family?
He got his brothers and sisters or something, right?
Well, I hope she gets it. But if she don't know how to do business and she don't know how to run a multi-billion-dollar company, she's gonna lose it. Some white man's gonna come and swindle her out of that shit.
Give us some money, huh?
I mean, yeah. Well, man, look, tell you what, we'll give you $50 million, and we'll just, $50 million sounds like, yeah, $50 million ain't nothing compared to $5 billion.
That's true.
But ask Michael Jackson's kids. So I'm with you, Togo. I feel you. I understand it. Don't fall for the illusions, my brothers. Don't fall for the illusion.
All right, so today's show was about artist integrity, and through the breaks I had Prince influenced artist music, you know what I'm saying? You can find their music easy, so I got the Time, She Leave, Vanity 6, stuff like that. So that's how we're gonna go out.
Don't forget about
Jesse.
The dude used to play the guitar for the time.
Jesse Johnson. I saw his, man. I was like, man.
Sinead O'Connor.
Yep. I mean, yeah, he wrote a lot of songs. He wrote a ton of songs. That Alicia Keys song. I mean, you know, Shaka Khan, I Feel For You. That's how I started it out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, what artist wasn't influenced by Prince? Even Michael Jackson said that in his. If you look at the, I don't know if it was Bad or. I think it was right before he died. This is it. He said that he was like, if he doesn't keep doing it, Prince is gonna knock him off. He was afraid of what Prince could do because Prince actually played all his instruments and did, like I said, he did that edgier type of music, and Michael Jackson had put himself in that pop vein where he had to be a certain way. He was able to wiggle out of it at the end, but ultimately that was his demise.
Right.
And she started talking about they don't really care about us. It was like, oh yeah, we got to get rid of this.
Right.
We got to. This is it.
Right.
So, unfortunately, with Prince, man, I can't. Like I said, that was, and shout out to my sister Nicole, because that was when we first hung out the first time, because we don't have the same mothers. I took her to see Purple Rain when she was a little girl, and it stuck with her all this time. It's just sad, man.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I mean, nobody lives forever, but an icon like that shouldn't be dead at 57.
Not at all. All right. Togo said, focus on the positives or come visit my crib in Cuba. We have conspiracy answers there.
Well, he ain't had that crib long because we couldn't go to Cuba for the last 70 years. So tell him I'm ready to come to the compound, man. Tell him he needs to get those drone killers so that they can't fly the drone over there and drop any tear gas on them and shit, or any of that mind control gas.
Yeah, Togo say love when you come on because he say you keep everybody's brains on their toes.
Hey man, that's what we got to do. Each one teach one.
That's right.
Hey, like I said, and put it this way. All of these views are not the views expressed by the Kicking It With Kesey show. These are just my opinions.
That's right.
And if you're with they, and you got to figure out who this guy is, it's just jokes.
Right. Shout out to my chat room. Shout out to the Real Cast Rangers. Shout out to the X Squad affiliates. Shout out to the SME Network. All right, and we can conclude this, man. I'm playing some of these jams, and we'll let everybody get their Saturday afternoon back. Thanks for coming on. My wife has stepped away because she said she got to finish her duties. Last week she was a producer. She bust in here, and I had to end my show. So this time she bust out of here. Like, stop talking, nigga.
Go ahead and tell everybody the real, man. You put your foot down. You know what you did, man. You put your foot down and say, don't do this no more. Look here, woman. Go ahead. Tell America how you did it, Kesey.
That's right. That's what I did. I told her, get out of here now. I'm going to keep talking.
All right, man. Well, I always enjoy, man, being on the show, man. I can't wait till we do this again.
All right.
It won't be the time when one of our next superstars die. I don't even know who's left now.
Right. All right, man. Appreciate that. All right. I thank y'all. Thanks for everybody that's coming out here in the chat rooms and for kicking it with Kesey. Remember to follow me at Kesey.com. Get me on your mobile apps. If you listen to me on Spreaker, be sure to hit the like button and follow me. And next time I come on, you'll get the alerts and stuff, and also get my mobile app. I'm actually found on all of the platforms. So we're gonna rock out with this party. Thanks, Vernon. And all right, holla at you. Stay tuned for Togo at 12, Bridging the Gap Show.
I guess you've heard of my reputation. I've had my share of fooling around. But everybody needs stimulation. And mine just happens to be overtime. It's money occupation.